there, and welcome to the QNB Stars League review show, all in English here on Alcast, as we look back at all 6 matches in week 22, the final week of the QNB Stars League 2018-19. Al Sadd had already been crowned champions in week 21, but there was still plenty of drama surrounding the top 4 and, of course, the relegation places. So it was all to play for. 30 goals we saw, and it all went down to the wire. As always, I'm joined by former English Premier League players Nick Selby and Chris Makin, who will share with us their expert opinion as they analyse each game in detail. But let's first remind you of how they lined up for week 22. So, all on one day, Saturday 13th of April, Al Arabi Al Duhail, Al Sadd Salal, Al Shahniya Al Garafa, all those 3 matches kicking off at 18:20, and then 3 kicked off at the later time of 20:30. Al Rayyan Qatar Sports Club, Al Salih Al Kharatiat, and Al Ahli Al Khor, and all those had the drama for top 4 and drama for relegation in them. Wow, what a finish it was to the season. Right, let's get straight to the action. Al Salih, with a victory, would guarantee themselves a 3rd place finish, and that would give them, for the first time ever, a qualifying spot in the AFC Champions League next season. Al Kharatiat, they were playing for their QNB Stars League lives. Nick Selby and Chris Makin have the commentary.
Majdi just overruns the ball, but then gets away with it as the Kharatiat player slips. Majdi here on this right-hand side, inside to Fahad. Fahad takes a shot on. He had 3 blue shirts to his left there. Floats one to the far post, and there's the opening goal, and it's a flying header, really. Was it Ramos? For his first of the season there, and what a way to get his first of the season. Wonderful delivery from Belhaj, and then he left it up to Ramos to make the run, and he came steaming in at the far post. 1-0 Salih.
Perfect start. What a lovely delivery, but it's about him attacking the ball, getting there first. And you just saw Sami Trabelsi in your pitch. You must be delighted getting that goal. The players can relax a little bit now, but what a delivery and what a goal there. And it's 1-0 to Salih.
It's a fabulous delivery, but tell you what, Ramos just makes that goal his own.
They've been difficult to watch. It's not been comfortable for them at all.
Oh, and then Razak trying to steal in behind Ramos and Alcater. Oh, that's a good ball in from Sadd. Try and keep this ball alive here and keep... Oh, what an effort by Razak, and he rattles the bar. There's there coming in from Abdullah. But what an effort from Razak there from the edge of the box as well. Sadd to the far post again. What a delivery! It goes straight in. Will it stand as a goal?
I think the VAR, has he got the VAR, is going to be looked at now.
Was it direct or was it on top in the midfield department? Could be a chance here. Lazar just before half time. Lazar gets the equaliser. Kharatiat back in the game. Oh, and the referee's given. The assistant on the far side might have given offside.
Looks like it's going to be whipped inside, who's very good at these type of situations.
Quick glance at the near post there. Goes to the far post. What a save! It's got to go in. Kharatiat get the equaliser. Dalul with the rebound at the far post. And they deserved it. They've had chances in the first half. They carried on that form into the second half. And finally, they get that equalising goal.
And well done by Kharatiat, wonderful delivery in the box there as well from Sadd. Keeper makes a save, but Dalul's there. Just look at the delivery. There's the left foot, whips it into that far post. There's the save, and there's Dalul there just to pounce on it. They've deserved it. You've got to say that, and they're in the game now, Kharatiat. And I tell you something, Salih have got to really put their ideas up in this game, because they are not at it at the moment. Here's a delivery coming in now for Salih. There's Ramos, same type of thing. Paul chipped in.
Oh, keeper's come out, and there we go. Oh no, it's not given. Foul's gone against goalkeeper Sofian, who gets himself in the right mess there in the 6-yard box. Not whether the referee's going to go to VAR. Sofian, that's not foul. He just runs into people.
Yeah, it's not.
If anything, he goes into Razak. It's not a foul. It's a great goal from Abdul Qadir, great reaction.
It's not at all. The ball's been put into an area. The keeper's come well out of his goal. And yet they got themselves back into the game now. This is all about them. They've just got to do their side of the bargain and get the 3 points. Here's a cross, goes into the box. It bounces off the crossbar for Kratia. Still in the air. Keeper comes to collect.
Twice tonight they've hit the woodwork. Here we go, another fine delivery from Sad, real teaser. And Belhaj looking towards his own goal, lucky to see it come back off the bar because Alcacer was well beaten. Fahad now space in front of him, goes wide to Mudada. Mudada coming in on his right foot, and he goes to the far post, and what an important goal that is. And he's from that impact player, like you like to call him, Nick, Mudada.
Wonderful right against the run of play now. That's a massive kick in the teeth out for Karatiat. Karatiat have been the better in this second half, but Mudava comes on at half-time, and what a finish this was. Just cuts inside and feeds it with his right foot past the goalkeeper to make it 2-1, and it's a massive sigh of relief for Salia.
Khalil just overcompensates there, comes in tight to Abdul Qadir, doesn't really close down. Mudava got to be closed down. Comes in on his favourite right foot at will, able to just pass it to the net, like you said, Nick. In off the post, perfect placement. I don't know what I'm watching anymore. Lazar from the penalty spot puts it away. 2-2 now. Karatiat level up against Salia. So Ryan.
No, it's what. But
Ryan have just scored.
All we're trying to say at the bottom here now is they're alive. They're alive here now. They've put themselves back into the game. Karatiat, obviously Qatar are getting hammered by. But here's Mudava breaking into the box. The other side, he goes down. Penalty. He's been given.
What a night.
What a night. All of a sudden there, now they've got themselves back into the game.
He's a penalty. Dear me.
Well, that's it, ref. You don't need to see it anymore now. Go and make your decision now.
Belhaj steps up from 12 yards out. Puts his side back in the lead. 3-2. Salia.
I'll tell you something. Sofian makes the right choice as well. You know, they take the lead again for the third time in this game tonight. Kratia trying everything what they can. They're having a real fight for it, but they just can't get that grip of the game or take the lead in the game.
They come up for offside there. They might have paid the price here. Karatiat, this could really wrap up the game here. And a chance here for Mudava, and he puts the ball away. 4-2 into the last 8 minutes or so. Surely that's game over. Asani takes a chance there. The skipper for Karatiat comes up for offside, and after that it was always going to be a goal for Mudava, set up by Abdul Qadir. Mudava with his third of the season. Can he keep going and having that impact in midfield?
Well, I'll tell you what
Majdi's pushing on a little bit now.
Well, I'll tell you what about Tabata? Get another year out of him, something like that in midfield, a bit of creativity.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal!
With the manager, there's the delivery, and that is what he does best. Abdul Qadir gets in there first and just heads it off the crossbar into the net. And for some reason, as we have spoke about Salia throughout the season, they seem to just step it up, you know, control games, and then all of a sudden they can just show us that little bit of brilliance.
Oh, I love it. Love the action there, really turns your net to get there.
Well, of course, the depressing story from that is Al Khartiat get relegated for the first time in 10 years. They've been there at the top in the QMB Stars League. But, of course, let's look at the positive first. Al Salia, what an end to the season.
It's just a massive feat, and I'm so pleased with Sami Trabelsi because ever since we've been here, we've covered 7 seasons now, and he's always done well, and he's been at the top end of the table. Remember in the second season we were here, he managed to get them in the Emir Cup, the Qatar Cup, the Emir Cup final, and he's done it again, third place for the first time in their history, and we don't know what kind of budget he's on, but he's always managed to bring good players into the club, and he's got his rewards with bringing in Tibakanini, you know, him alongside Abdul Qadir, 2 goal scorers, just fired him to the top of league table.
There seems to be a great atmosphere there, a great feeling. You know, you can see it. The players hugging Sammy, and just everything seems to be going the right way. Maybe he's got a bit more freedom there as well.
Yeah, no, he's one of those. When you look at him, you think that's a club you'd like to play for. I think one of your big examples would be Wagner last year. You know, any player that goes there, he puts their arm around them and he makes them feel wanted. They could do with something like that at something like Garaffa. You know, to get hold of the club and get that good feel there, you know, and he's got that, and he deserves everything, Sammy Trabelsi. I mean, this was a wonderful start for him, you know, just before 5 minutes, great ball into the box, and Ramos attacks it, and he gets there first, and as you can see, now the team spirit, all the lads together. But you have to say as well, on the night, Kratiak made a go of it and made it a little bit difficult. This boy here, Delul is a good player, by the way. I like him. I will be sniffing after him. I know they got relegated, but there's players there which other clubs should be looking at now in the QSL.
To some of the players there, I mean, Lazard is obviously a professional player. He won't be there in the second division.
Sad.
Yeah,
he plays in midfield or left back.
Although some players do stay in the team when they go down to the second division, as we saw with Al Rayyan. They stuck together as a team. They came back and won the league.
Alvaro as well. He's been here for a long time, hasn't he? He went down with him as well.
So, you know, that could indeed happen. But for Al Salia now, you know, it's all about building. Let's look at the positive there for them. AFC Champions League spot, qualifiers, of course. But, you know, that's a big move for them as a club.
They haven't been at their fluent best, if we compare it to the football that we've seen over previous seasons. They haven't reached that standard, but it's just the two goal scorers up front, Abdul Gadir and Tibi Kaneen. Tibi Kaneen is a fabulous signing. Very similar to Sasha, who used to play at Al Wakra. Ultimate goal scorer really, and he's helped this man here, Abdul Gadir. And they're both different types of players as well, aren't they? Different styles. Yeah. Enjoyed that mix this year.
It's quite difficult to where they can strengthen it. Do they need a centre half? You know, is Tabata going to come out of there? Was that a nice little one, Tabata there? Try and get another year out of it. It's quite difficult. The centre forwards are fine. They're fine there, aren't they? You've got to say with Mudavi, you were just talking about then. You know, he's always been quality.
I hate to say impact players, but when he does come on, he always seems to make a difference.
So they're okay in that, so it's quite difficult to say where they need strengthening, probably in defence.
Right, let's get through the analysis. Lazard, the disallowed goal, because there were plenty of talking points from this game. Nick, do you want to start this one off?
Yep, this is your VAR looked into this. So there's a lot of there's pluses and there's decisions which are right. This was a right decision. He is offside slightly, as you can see, and it was done quicker than what we saw before. So. I understand a bit of teething at the start, but they seem to be getting around it. But don't get me wrong, there's some crazy decisions as well, which we're going to go into in a minute.
They've just got to get, you know, that's the thing, that holding the play up for so long, sometimes 3, 4, even 5 minutes, that's really not acceptable, is it? Especially if that happens twice in a half,
should be a
10
time
minutes.
limit, and, you know, maybe, I don't know, 45 seconds or a minute maybe, and if you can't make your mind up after that, then don't give whatever decision you was going to give.
OK, let's go.
I was just saying, I was watching a game, I don't know if it's obviously not the Premier League, it was the Champions League, and they played on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were played on while the decision was happening. I'm sure it was something that I thought, that's because what about if they scored or whatever? You got yourself in the right bit of it, but they carried it on while the decision was made.
The ball's got to go out of play though.
It has. Let's have a look at the other disallowed goal, another scenario here, which was all a bit confusing as well. This was the... Well, this is the goal.
This is Abdul Gadir.
I mean, that's...
You know what? If you give him that service, he's unstoppable. He's like a Montari. But how many times do you see him in a match get that service?
I know,
Not too many times, is there?
Listen, they both scored a lot of goals, but I think there's still more. I think they're both capable of getting up near 20 apiece. Then that's why you just give them the service. It's not hard, you know.
That'll be the aim next season.
What about this? What about this penalty situation on Delul? Go on, Chris. You had your head in your hands. I couldn't see you in the commentary box, but I could feel it.
It's just a clean tackle. But then the referee's looking at this tackle.
He's right there, mind. He's right there.
It must have been. I know, yeah. You know, in normal times you'll give it. But look at the reaction straight away. I know he's not injured anyhow. I can see the direction of where the ball's going. So there's two factors to take into account. And he comes over, and I'm not digging out the referee, but he's looked at it about 10 to 15 times. It's took how many minutes to come to the conclusion?
Yeah, well,
and then at the end of it all, it gives the penalty.
I know. Where are they seeing the penalty in that? Sometimes, because we thought at first, you know, when you come in and your studs are showing, you think,
know,
all
if
right,
anything, here's one for you. It's a foul against him.
Yeah.
You know, the way fouls are going nowadays with the slights of contact. Look, he gets a touch and then he goes into him. Oh, honestly.
I wouldn't have even looked at it, mate. The game would have just carried on. I wouldn't have given it the time of day at all. But I think you need some sort of ex-players or something in helping these referees and putting a bit of common sense.
He's got 5-6 people in the room.
This epitomises everything because he doesn't know. He still looks at it now.
But what are the guys in the room doing then?
Yeah, but we can look at it straight away and go, no, that's it, finished, get on with the game. He still can't make his mind up because he hasn't got that football knowledge, you see. He's looking and it's right out of a book. You know, it's just, we shouldn't even be looking into this. The game should just carried on.
I mean, how many times have we seen it now?
Well,
6 times.
Well, exactly. We're going over and over. And in fact, what's interesting about it, the more you see it, the less likely it looks like a foul or anything. Yeah. Because you see it in slow motion, you see his foot flat to the floor, there's no studs showing, he gets the ball. As you say, it probably should have gone the other way.
So okay, all right then. So I was saying about when I watched Peter Schmeichel the other day, and his view was what he was saying is it's never going to be perfect. So it never was before. It's never now. So why don't you just keep it as it was before, really? Because you're not going to get them right, are you? This is proving. You know, this is proving that it's not. You know, it's not. It's not 100% at all. It's no different really than what it was. But okay, big decisions. You'd like to think that they get them right in the crunch game. You know, but you still the same thing, really. You've got to try and help the referees. I don't know how you do.
Points, isn't there?
Well, it is, and we're going to talk about another one now because 2 minutes after that was this, and this was, well, you both said straight away it's a penalty.
Yeah.
But he wasn't convinced, and again, he's in a great position. He's right up with play.
Why he's pointing to the spot? So why go to the system? He's got a great view. He can see the two players there. Straight away, he's pointing to the spot of the referee. So why waste time and go to the system?
Yeah.
We said straight away, penalty.
Yeah, I mean, he gets in front of him, that's the thing there. Look, there he is in front of him, it's just a shoulder barge, and it's simple. If you're right behind it, you haven't got to do this. It's quite strange, really, because sometimes they opt to go to the machine and other times they don't. It's quite... The ones which you think you have to go to the machine, they get it totally mixed up. It's still teething, you know. We're going to see it next year in the Premier League as well. It's going to be interesting with that, and obviously when it goes up to the big games in the Champions League now, big decisions. We'll see it then. But I think it does help in the big. It's a strange one. It's quite. It's another point for an argument, isn't it? Isn't it really? Yeah. You can't solve it, can you?
Okay, good penalty, which was all important, of course, for Al Sadd. Let's finish off with this game, and it is the disallowed. Ramos's goal. We're going to have a look at Ramos's goal again. You're talking about targets, Nick.
Well, this is what you do. I mean, it's a wonderful delivery. You know, but when you put it in there, you've got to have somebody that wants to attack the ball, you know, and that is what he did, and that is right off the training ground, very simple. You know, it's not really much to it, just to float the ball in, and can you get in there and he wanted to get there first, and he did, and he got the goal, and you can do that a lot. A lot of the teams can do it throughout the league. You know, it's not hard. That just put it into the quality areas.
Now we'll have the disallowed goal. Knew it was coming somewhere. Yeah. Here we go. What's wrong with this?
Nothing. Goalkeeper comes rushing out, just runs to a pile of bodies. He goes against that one.
I mean, it was an incredible game, wasn't it? I mean, it was end to end. 1 minute we thought Al-Khattaab were going to get a chance to stay in. It did depend on other results at the same time. Nevertheless, it was great excitement for the last.
The point with that one is the slightest touches on a goalkeeper now. The foul goals for the goalkeeper.
Straight away to the goalkeeper. All right, let's move on. We've got a lot to get through. Al Arabi, they were improving all the time, of course, and Heimir Hallgrimsson, and their fixture in week 22 against Al Hale would be the perfect test for them as they can now begin to prepare for the Emir Cup. At bay for 40 minutes, but then they conceded a free kick in a very dangerous position. Hisham executed his shot perfectly, and Al Hale were 1 up. Edmondson Jr. was his usual creative self and doubled Al Hale's lead early in the second half. And the final word went to, you guessed it, El Arabi, who scored his 26th goal of the season. Okay, a win for Al Hale, back to normal for them. A word on how they finished the season so far in the league. Of course, we've got the Emir Cup to come. Who knows? Maybe they could win that.
Yeah, definitely. I'd put them down. I think they're going to get on with business now. But, you know, they need to finish the season off. Like Al Sadd usually did when they didn't win the league, they went on and did well in the Emir Cup. I expect De Hale to do that. And listen, it's very difficult to have a go at De Hale as well for what they've done over the years. They've been absolutely fantastic, but it just wasn't their year. They've managed to change a lot, which is...
Well, well, he takes the free kicks now after being absolutely amazing in the Asian Cup.
What I'm just saying is they managed to change the team a lot. You know, there's a lot of other sides which will have to do that, and this guy's had a fantastic season.
He has, but he's only scored 4 goals. So next season, you look at if Ed Milson weighs in with 10 goals like Nante he used to, then you're in business. He scored 26 goals this year, El Arabi. He's done his job.
That would have won top goal scorer normally.
Yeah, well, equal with Afif, but it's just the backup. Normally you get Nante, he, Masatni scoring double figures. He hasn't had the support this year, has he? Next year, if they get 2 other players getting in double figures, they've got a chance, haven't they?
Yeah, you're not forgetting Moez as well. Moez 8, probably we need a little bit more off Moez, but this is just a little bit of a reality check for them. Only now, but they'll come back strong next year with the side what they've got there. They've still got that mental edge, I think, over Al Sadd.
I'm excited to see what happens with Al Arabi now. We've got Heimer Hallgrimsson, who seems to be pulling things together there. He's made another signing. Aaron Gunnarsson from Cardiff City is going to come. Mr. Long Throw Specialist, add another little dimension to the game. You know, he's building a nice squad there. I wonder what we can expect next season, as long as everybody still remains there.
I think 6th place is quite good for Al Arabi. They've had 3 different managers this season, so I think you take 6th place. But next year, who knows? Will he be given the time? That's the big question mark there, isn't it, over their managers?
It certainly is. Right, let's move on to Al Sadd. They, of course, are the champions already. They were crowned champions in week 21. But they wanted to continue breaking even more records as they faced Salal in the final week. Salal started this match with intent and looked determined to make it a difficult night for the champions. However, on the half hour, Kuki made a brave header and put Al Sadd ahead. Just 4 minutes later, Salal put pressure on Al Sadd and forced them into making a mistake. Sagbo pounced and equalised. Al Haidous slotted away a penalty just before half-time to regain the lead for Al Sadd. In the second half, the tide turned. 4 more goals for them. It finished 6-1 to Al Sadd, and their goal tally hit 100. 100. 5 records for Al Sadd this season. 100 goals in a season. Akram Afif, the first Qatar player to reach 26 goals. Bunja scoring 39 goals is the most goals scored in a season. It's a 14th league title for Al Sadd. And Akram Afif made 23 assists, the first Qatar player to reach that tally.
What other record was broken this year?
I think Salal's won it. 14 goals conceded in 3 games. Is that
It's not a record you want.
There's another one.
Was there?
Yeah.
Go on.
Defensive goals against. Who got it?
You never turn off on it. You're always.
Did Al Sadd concede less than?
No.
No, they didn't.
Al Dahail.
They conceded 17, which was a record. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're
Thank
doing?
you very much.
He's got the glory then. You just teed it up and he's gone that.
You got that,
No, but it was there. It was there. It was there. I was looking at it today. I was counting them up.
in at the end. There you go. I love that.
Brilliant. But a word on Al Sadd. I mean, what can you say? I mean, you know, and even there they wanted to finish in style and break more records, and they did.
Yeah, you got to say to the manager as well, Ferreira. You know, he is quality, and how he's turned this club around. They've wanted it so much over the last 3-4 years or whatever it is, and they've got it back now. And the glory days look like they're back. They have to look towards the Champions League. This is a squad which is capable of going all the way to win the Champions League, but they've done it. They've done it. And they've done it in style, you know. You just think that you can't get a negative at all. These players, a lot of these players have gone and represented the country and won the Asia Cup as well. And the place is buzzing and they're all smiling, they're all happy and rightly so. And they've signed Bunja for a long deal. That is massively important.
They've really got to look. It's wanting that AFC Champions League title now. It is that. They've won it twice in their history. Now, make it a 3rd time. That squad surely is good enough. Jesualdo Ferreira, his tenure comes to an end. It's been a great time for him.
That's an interesting one, then, isn't it?
5th league title in 3 different countries. He's won 7 cups in 3 different countries as well.
So is he leaving then, or do we not know yet?
Well,
see, I don't understand.
we're about to find out very soon, Nicholas.
I'd like to see him stay.
You've got to, but of course you do.
In
You've
fact,
got the success now.
In about 30 seconds' time, we may find out.
Will we?
Well, we'll hear from the man himself.
Was he asked directly?
Of course, any direct questions come from our producer, Shadin Wadan.
What, do you get a direct answer, though? Because you can't say game by game. The game by game's
Let's
finished.
stick it on then. I can't wait now.
Before that, though, we've been talking about a FIFA. One thing you've pulled out of that performance is anticipation. It's Nick's word for the season, isn't it? And your word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Should be for any forward player.
Not many players at all would do this. Look, now all your top players.
Who used to score goals like that? Ian Rush, Jimmy Greaves, Dennis Law.
Yeah, all that.
Used to follow the ball in. We used to do it in training, actually.
Just never stop
Becomes
thinking,
a habit.
never switch off, yeah.
But like Nick says, how many players is he doing that?
Not at all. I mean,
Hardly any.
My dad said when he used to train with Dennis Law, he never used to do shooting practice. He just used to wait, and all of a sudden, if it just dropped down, he'd be on it. That's fantastic, that by him. You know, you're looking at a lad there who comes with a big reputation, and he is ticking every box, and he is looking to play. And I'm going to keep saying it. Paris Saint-Germain have got to take him at a certain point and play him. He's Qatari. People want to know who's coming through and who's playing in the World Cup.
Is he negotiating the deal?
It makes sense, doesn't it? I think,
He's super agent.
Listen, I'm not being funny. They're about 25 points clear in the French league. You can start playing him from February. There's not a problem then,
He's
is
been
it?
to Belgium. He's come back here. He's done the
Get him
business here. He's won the Asian Cup.
OK, Oswaldo Ferreira, he's masterminded Al Sadd's first title since the 2012-13 season. How does he sum up his time here in Qatar with Al Sadd? This is what he had to say.
I came for 6 months, and I stay 3 years and a half, almost 4 years. In first 6 months, you play the final from Emir Cup. And after we win the Emir Cup and Qatar Cup and Super Cup, and now the Liga, I think is full. I'm happy. Everybody knows that my contract finished now, and I live with the Al Sadd here inside, in my heart, all the players and everybody, and also maybe I don't know, but I hope to stay here in Qatar more time because I am family here also. I like to be here, and maybe I stay more. I don't know, few months I don't. But for me, it's important that everybody knows that after the Liga, you have also 3 games from Champions League. I want to win. And also 3 games for the Emir Cup. I want to win also. I am full for win, crazy. So, like professional coach, what I said to you in the beginning, I am happy for this.
He's a fool. He's crazy for winning. That's what he's telling us. He wants 3 Emirates Cups. 2's not enough.
He's going to Al Rayyan.
Is he?
Where have you just got that from, that?
Well, he said he's leaving Al Sadd, but he wants to stay in.
Excuse me, that's
in Qatar.
gossip, that.
Ryan have not got a manager. So
They haven't got
logical
Gilson
step.
D'Souza.
And by the way, at the start he said he's been here. He was supposed to be here for 6 months, ended up staying for 4 years.
Yes.
We were supposed to come here for 3 months, 7 years.
So there.
So there.
Right, OK. So you say you'll go to Al Rayyan. Would he
Rayyan.
fit in there? Would that work well with him, Al Rayyan?
So that's if he's definitely going.
I don't know. Chris is
I'm
making
going
a
off that
valid
interview. He
point.
said he's leaving Al Sadd.
He doesn't look
but
like
he
he's
wants
going
to
anywhere.
stay in Qatar because
Yeah.
he loves it. So
Come on.
Either way,
He's going
yeah.
nowhere.
That'd be great for me. It'd be great if he stays at Al Sadd, but if he's got to go another club like Ryan, could be perfect. Ryan have underachieved. I'm going to give it them until they
It'd be
start getting
perfect
back.
for Ryan.
Yeah.
You've got to get that club going again. It's a massive club.
OK, let's get on with it. Plenty to get through still. 6 wins and 6 draws this season for Al Shahaniya, and that was enough to secure their place in the QMB Stars League next season. Now, a win in week 22 against Al Gharafa would mean that they would finish above them in the league. Amangawa's work rate has been admirable for Al Shahaniya all season, but he hasn't scored enough goals. At least he finished on a high with Al Shahaniya's first in the 17th minute. Ramin doubled their lead in the 27th minute, and Al Gharafa was stunned. Taremi pulled one back for Al Gharafa with a penalty just before the hour, but Ramin would have the final say and secure a 3-1 win for Jose Murcia Gonzalez's side, and they would finish the season in 7th. Well, wow, Chris, making 7th place for Al Shahaniya. You'd take that any day of the week. If you'd said that to them at the beginning of the season, they'd have bitten your hand off.
Another manager I'm so pleased for. He's just turned them round, and what an absolutely fabulous achievement. 7th place, We covered them twice when they've been promoted, went straight back down, albeit they played quite well, but just couldn't get the points. But this year, looked very, very comfortable. So where does this club go from here now?
Not many goals for Amangala, but a great work rate, a player that you've been impressed with all season, Nick.
Yeah, his work rate's fantastic. So this is something next year. All he's got to put to his game is trying to get a few more goals. I think I think looking at him, this is what he's all about. You know, and you've got to say as well, this boy Raman, you know, he's enjoyed his challenge there as well. And obviously he's an international player, you know, and he's got a smile on his face. And what the manager does at this club is phenomenal. You know, he is up there with Ferreira, you know, for an award of a coach. It's, you know, it's very difficult, different circumstances, but he's been fantastic. Garafa, very disappointing for me. I know they won a trophy, but you want to see a club what's improving. We thought last year, hang on a minute, they are back, but they've got to get that. They've got to get. They've got to, the club of that size has got to get itself going. The team, what you've got. You know, you prove you can do it, but
you need a leader at the back. Amado's filled in, but he went to the club as a central midfielder. He's played most of the season as central. They need a leader at the back.
Oswaldo Ferreira, would he fit in Algarafa? Nothing against Christian Gorkov. I just get the feeling from his interview. I think his contract's up anyway, isn't it? Yeah. You know, he's done 2 seasons here.
It's a bit of an enticing job. So would you put them not the same level as Ryan, but it's a big club, one of the biggest clubs over here.
Ryan's better though. But listen, if you get given a bit of money, you know, and obviously one of these clubs here now, it'd be nice if their owner could say, look, go on, you do what you want to do and get it going. You know, and if he gets that sort of licence, then all of a sudden it could be the place to be. But out of those two there, I think Ryan's the one there. You get that going there, where you get the crowd going, that's ready to go, that.
OK, going into the final weekend, Al Rayyan could still finish in 3rd place, but the first thing they had to focus on was at least beating Qatar Sports Club. Al Rayyan were caught napping in the 8th minute, and Qatar Sports Club took an unlikely lead through use of Ayman. Didn't last long. 3 minutes later, Luke had Al Rayyan level, but Gilson de Sousa's team couldn't get control of the game, and Samuel Eto'o fired in a great goal just before the break. Sebastian put Al Rayyan back in charge in the 68th minute, only for Raibe to cleverly steer another equaliser in 6 minutes later. Sebastian popped up again to score the win in the 78th minute, but their victory was in vain because of Al Salih's victory. They did all they could, Nick, but again, it added to the excitement of the final day. You weren't sure because you thought, goodness me, Qatar Sports Club might be the ones that drop down and Al Khartiat to get relegated for sure. So it all added to the excitement.
Yeah, it did, yeah. The only plus is that they managed to start scoring goals. Well, it's a little bit more exciting, Qatar, so that gives them a chance there in the playoff game. Ryan, for me, I will repeat myself, nowhere near good enough, really. They've got to be. A team that won the league 3 years ago has gone backwards. You know, it's got to be up there. Once you're up there, you just, with the team what you've got, I think it's a little bit dated now, so there's got to be some changes there. Big manager coming in, get the place going again. 20 points difference, only won 10 games all season. I just expect better, really. Obviously, you look at Sebastian. Will he get another contract to batter with his goal? So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some big changes at that football club.
Tabata 9 goals, Sebastian 6 goals. They're not the numbers you're looking for from those types of players, are you?
The likes of Luca, Rivas.
7 goals, 3 or 4 for Rivas. Not one in double figures. There's your problem.
Samuel Eto'o with a lovely goal there. Not enough from him throughout the season.
Big game in it. Yeah. Did he play Mwaiva now in that playoff match?
They could still do it, you know. Going into this game,
they're still giving confidence.
Going into the game, you thought, well, they can't even score goals, but they've managed to get a few goals, so that should give them a little bit of a lift. They need a goal scorer, though, don't they? Qatar Sports Club. Yeah. Like same as everybody. That's what everyone's after. You know,
Al Sadd have got an amazing one. Al Duhail have got an incredible one. Yeah. Al Salih have got two good ones.
Who's there that could go to one of the big clubs? Is anyone like Tibi went to Salih? That was a steal for me. Is anyone
from where? From here?
What we can think of that could go to Ryan? Is anyone we can think of at the moment?
For me, yeah. Thiago.
There you go.
I like him.
There you go.
I think
you are the super agent. You're coming up with some great shouts, actually. No, you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, Al Khor won't like you for that. But
no, not at all. Yeah. But the guy, you can see he's got that buzz about him. Yeah. You know, he can see and he scores goals. And he brings something different. You knock the ball into him, he twists, he turns.
Would you put Sagbo into Ryan?
I think Sagbo needs a change. I think he needs to go somewhere just to freshen it up a little bit. But he's still, you know,
he still shows glimpses, doesn't he?
It's very difficult to lead the line for as long as he's been here. Just him really up there on his own. You know, you've got to change it a little bit and give him something, freshen it up for him.
All right, Al Ahly were another side who could finish in the top 4, but they had to focus on winning the game against Al Khor, who were almost safe going into the final week. Al Khor had only lost once in the last 5 matches. Were not going to fold in front of Al Ahly. This was there for a keenly contested match. He took a foul in the 20th minute to change things. Thiago stepped up to score his 6th goal of the season. Just after the half hour, Al Khor gave away a clumsy penalty, and Ibrahimi was the man to make certain from the spot. From that moment onwards, it was a stalemate. Neither side could gain control of the match. It finished 1-1. What's wrong with you?
Mosquitoes, because there's too much rain going on here. That's why mosquitoes everywhere. There's one keeps coming around me.
I thought it was very polite of you. You keep putting your hand up to ask a question and keep swatting.
I was just thinking then Thiago and Sagbo up front together.
Oh,
what a little mouth-watering one there.
Let's move forward.
What about Montari and either Sagbo, something like that, big and just little things. What will happen?
What about Al Ahly and what about Al Khor? Al Ahly don't finish in the top 4. The draw wasn't enough for them, and the other results didn't go their way anyway. Al Khor, the point suited them. They'd done enough. This is how the game panned out. It was just the 2 penalties. It kind of felt it was going to be like that anyway, a bit of a drawn game.
Al Ahly, ever since they got promoted, since we've been here, they've always finished about 5th or 6th. So they've done it again. Top goal scorer, Mutsuali, 5 goals.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, it's just that department, isn't it?
Just need a goal scorer. You've got to find him, and everyone in the world of football's looking for a goal scorer. You've got to say, their season, you look at it, you have to say when Machala was there, they looked absolutely fantastic at a certain point. Now, whether they could have continued that with him because of the stopping and starting wasn't the case. New manager came in. The only time we're going to see him is let's see what they're like in the Emir Cup, and obviously after a pre-season and see what they're like next season.
It's been a very difficult season. Any side like Al Ahly who have not only had to deal with the stops and starts and change a manager or head coach.
Why did he change the manager though?
Yeah.
At that stage.
We don't know the ins and outs of it. Milan Machala, 75 years of age. Maybe Milan Machala felt, you know what, he's still there. He still has he's been having his say in the club. I've seen him. He's obviously got some input, but he's not dealing with the day-to-day, pressure of having to be in a head coach.
We're on the outside looking in, and we go to the press conference. You talk to these managers. You don't really give much away anyhow. So
no.
You don't get to the bottom of the decision. And me and Nick are former players, and we're looking at the football club, which is absolutely flying at the time. They make the change for someone really inexperienced, took Machala out of the frame and changed the players around, and they finished 5th, which is okay, but they could have easily finished 3rd.
But
so
we are seeing, Ruben de la Manera has come in there. He is a young coach. Are we seeing a transformation under him? And let's give him he's not even had half a season. Because remember, when it started back in February, we were already on round 16 or something.
Yeah, but don't you know that as a manager nowadays?
Yeah, but
you don't have a long life.
No, you don't. But once again, there with those is it's the difficult thing with them was the stopping and starting. You know, you want to see. It was very difficult for a lot. Al Arabi coach. It was a tough one. It worked out because obviously Qatar won the Asia Cup. But after that, it was too much stopping and starting. So that's why we get the chance to see them, obviously, next year. I think Al Arabi will be interesting because I think he'll give them a tough pre-season.
OK, let's recap the results then from week 22, the final week in the 2018-19 season. Just to remind you, it's Al Arabi lost 3-0 to Al Duhail. Al Sadd, 6-1 winners over Salal. And Al Shahania, 7th win of the season for them. 7 wins and 6 draws. Fantastic, giving them 7th place. We'll show you that in the league table in just a moment. Al Rayyan, 4-3 winners over Qatar Sports Club. Al Salia, 5-2 hammering of Al Kharatiyat in the end. And you saw there Al Ahly getting a 1-1 draw with Al Khor. But it's that defeat for Al Kharatiyat which has sent them to the 2nd division. Qatar Sports Club, despite losing, will get a chance to play in a playoff match to stay in the QNB Stars League. Let's show you the league table then after 22 weeks, the end of the season. There it is, Al Sadd champions, 57 points, goal difference of plus 78, goodness me. Al Dahel was second, Al Salia, there they are, in third spot. Al Rayyan in fourth, Al Ahly fifth, Al Arabi up in sixth place. Al Shahaniya, wow, in seventh place. What a finish for them. Al Gharafa in eighth. Salal ninth. Al Khor finishing 10th in the end. There's Qatar Sports Club with that playoff spot. Al Kharatiyat, 15 points. Just 5 wins all season. Just not enough. Right, it's not the top 3 goals of the week now, but it's the top 3 goals of the season. We thought we'd just give it a little change, and that's what Nick and Chris have decided to do. So, gentlemen, who would like to go first?
Well, I'm not bothered who goes first. I'd just like to say 2 were a shoe-in.
Yeah.
Third we were scrambling about, weren't we? We couldn't
Yeah.
really think of the third one, so we go for something different.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah,
Okay, in third spot.
The thief, Al Sadd with the overhead kick.
Well, 26
Remember
goals
it?
in all. Which one? This
Yeah.
one, wow.
Great reactions, but great technique as well. First one to react as ever. You know, 4 players on the line.
I like the reaction of the bench.
Yeah. Just wonderful technique. Look, I had the ball all the way through. And just like that rebound goal that we saw before, we don't see many of those overhead kicks as well, do we?
We don't. Beautifully done from Akram Afif, as we said, 26 goals in all season, 23 assists, another record from him. But Nick, who gets the second best goal of the season?
Abdul Karim. You'll have a job to see a better strike than this. It's fantastic. We're going to see the better angle from behind. It was a little bit of a tough game up till now, but this guy here, Asian Player of the Year, obviously won the Asia Cup as well, and he's maturing nicely. Look at this. This is what it's all about. What's given him the right to hit it from there, but could not hit it any better. You can just keep watching that. It was absolutely fantastic from a player who he's getting better and better every season.
But goal of the season came only a couple of weeks ago in week 20. Wow, what a goal it was. You can both talk about it. Kick off, Chris.
Hilal.
Hilal from Al Khourouda thought it. Well done, well done.
Do we agree with this, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah?
Definitely.
I mean, it's a great ball through by Thiago, and he puts a load of spin on the ball, and he actually cuts across the ball, Hilal. And if he was to pick the ball up and go and place it somewhere, he'd probably put it there, in off the post. It's absolutely inch perfect.
See, I mean, we look at all these goals usually come from the top sides, and when you're down there, it's very difficult when you're down there. You know, and this is a boy who's very confident, you know, and he proved it then. You know, when you're down there, and all of a sudden to get the best goal of the season, that he deserves it. You know, that's it's hard to do that when you're down there. It's a fantastic strike.
Well, as this is the final QMB Stars League review show of the season, we're just wrapping up on what the QNB Stars League or the QSL, what else comes from it. And one of the things we wanted to just talk about, and we touched on it earlier, and we'll just show you what happened in the final, just the goal. Al Gharafa. They won the QSL Cup. That's played sort of towards the end of the year, December. The final was played at the end of January. And for the second consecutive year, Nick, Al Gharafa win it with a 1-0 win of Al Dahel. And by the way, this wasn't a reserve team playing in this final. You know, this was a big win.
And this is what they're capable of doing. Why can't we see this why can't we see this more often? And it's a fantastic result. All these key players now scoring. I mean, there's Vice there, gets a second chance of it, but you expect them to kick on after this, and it's great them getting this trophy, but you know, it's as if they down tools after it. We just want more and more of this quality. You know, we can see it, we know they can do it, just show us more of it.
Yeah, fantastic for Al Gharafa. One moment of glory this season, like they did last season. That was under a different head coach. That was under Jean Fernandez. And interestingly enough, after he'd won the QSL Cup with Al Gharafa, he left. And who came in then was Bullen Jugend.
He left.
And then he left
after the May Cup.
That's
the Qatar Cup.
The Qatar Cup.
Yeah, wasn't happy, was he?
They got knocked. Well, actually, he played in the Emir Cup as well and got knocked out of that, and that was the end of that. What else the league does, of course, it's a breeding ground for young players. We've been following it for nearly 7 years now, so we've seen young players come through the ranks, and one of the most impressive has been Abdul Karim. And what wonderful news it was to hear and to see him collecting the Best Asian Player of the Year award. Magnificent news.
No, absolutely fantastic, and he's a lovely guy as well. You can see he's got that smile on his face and he enjoys what he does. And he's one of the players now who is on course to be playing in 2022. They're looking after him, they're nurturing him nicely. He's getting stronger. And look at him, he's you know, it's about now being the all-round player, you know, and being approachable, doing interviews, and he's the ultimate professional, and he deserves it. And it's great to put Qatar on the map with him getting that, and then all of a sudden, obviously, going on to win the Asia Cup, and obviously the success with Al Sadd.
You can just see with him, though, I mean, he's such a humble guy, and you can see the damage he causes on the pitch for other teams. You know, you miss him so much when he's not playing for Al Sadd down that left-hand side, what he does, and we saw when you chose one of his goals as one of the goals of the season, you know, it doesn't seem like the same person, does he, on stage there collecting the award and what he is on the pitch?
I'd love to see Nick play against him. That would have been something.
I'd have just let him go. No, because I used to hate fullbacks going the other way. I had a big problem with it for many years. Just keep on.
And he's one of those, isn't he? You go all the way there and end up playing right.
What I eventually learned to do was let him go, but he can go on the other end and he can go and score a goal, and you're in big trouble. You get a telling off them, but. You know, this is the modern day fullback now, and he's like an athlete. He's an athlete and a very good defender as well. Usually, you don't get the both. You know, he has the both.
Again, it's been an amazing season watching the young players that we've seen over 7 seasons come together and take part in the Asian Cup held in the UAE. Not only take part in it, but get to the final. Not only get to the final, but to go and win it convincingly. I mean, with goals like that. And, you know, we've been seeing Moez since he was a lot younger, playing in the QSL, in the QNB Stars League. That's where he plies his trade. That's where he's learning his trade.
Yeah, and I mean, Aspire has to take a lot of credit for these boys coming through, you know, but the league as a whole this is where these boys are playing. And I mean, this is since we've been here now, this is our 7th year. This is the best thing, and this could not be better news building up, going towards the World Cup. And they were absolutely phenomenal. Nobody expected it. We never expected it. We're interested to see how far they would go, but you know, it got the whole nation. You know, everybody was behind it. The love of football was there. I think one of the fan zones was 10,000. There was other ones with 6,000. The whole country got behind these boys, and it put them on the map.
You know, again, Abdulaziz plays with Al Gharafa. Al Gharafa hasn't had that great a season yet. The players have come out of their clubs, and they've come together to perform like this. And there's this argument that we've been talking about, you know, it's been a stop and start situation for the league. However, in this particular case, it's worked. It's a very difficult one to argue against.
You can't argue against it because it's been proven right. They've got the result, they've won the cup.
You know, they've gone to that competition in peak condition and performed at their highest level.
It's not even a debate, is it?
It needs to be backed. I'm talking about backed as in crowds coming to watch these boys play, and just to help them out even more. Got to get, you know, there's a love of football here, which we saw in this tournament, and these fans have got to come in. I don't know if you get them participating before the game, or I don't know what it is, but they have to start getting crowds in to help these play. Yeah, you've got to get. I mean, this was wonderful to watch us here now. The crowds are there and the play. You know, that's what you're in the game for. That. You know, and they've proved how good the league is. So go and back them. Let's get people going to the grounds and watching these players.
Yeah, of course. When they came back, as you say, when they came back to Qatar following this victory, you know, the whole of Qatar, not just people who are born and bred here, but people like us, we all want to celebrate it. You know, this is our home. This is where we live, and you know, everybody loves to support their nation, and certainly a winning nation. And look at him. I mean, there he is again. Now, there's him on a different stage. You know, there's him on the world stage, on the Asian stage.
I mean, they're playing up there. A lot of the players there are Premier League players there playing for Japan. You know, and these boys in now will be interesting to see if they'll get enticed to go to Europe or go to some other countries. You know, because this is a stage. This is where if you can do it on this stage, and they're not phased here. This boy again now, Afif. You know, these are the golden boys. These are the boys you're going to be seeing in the World Cup. So it's about them getting as much experience. You know, look after them as well, but just getting all these experiences. And at the moment, it couldn't go any better.
Of course, the next step now for the national team is the Copa America, which is being held in Brazil, June the 14th through till July the 7th. We wish them all the very best in that. The Qatar Cup was cancelled because of that, to focus on the AFC Champions League games for these teams, for the top teams, and also more friendlies for the international side. So, that's the next challenge for them is South America. It doesn't get bigger than that. Opening match for Qatar will be in the Maracanã.
It's another level.
Maracanã against Paraguay. Then they play Colombia in Sao Paulo, and then they Belo Horizonte. They go and play Argentina. Suddenly you're up against Messi and the likes. It's
different type of football altogether. Oh my word, against the big players there, aren't you?
But of course, before that, and you talk about the crowds, and we do get them here, and we do get the passion here because we have the Amir Cup, which is, of course, underway already, and it all leads to the final. This is from a year ago, back in May the 19th last year. Do you remember it? Al Rayyan against Al Duhail. What a fantastic match at the Khalifa International Stadium. A packed capacity crowd, 40,000 people enjoying this, including us. We look forward to May the 16th this year. But again, it's a celebration of football in Qatar.
I can't wait for it. 40,000. Hopefully it's going to be at the
Al Wakra Stadium.
Hopefully.
We're told it is, but you just got to be careful not to say too much. But again, it'll be another World Cup stadium ready where we get to enjoy. It is a spectacular stadium as well. And who will be in that final this year? There was a fantastic final between Rayyan and Duhail last year. Duhail, who took the clean sweep last year.
In a perfect world, we like Duhail and Al Sadd final, wouldn't we? Not being disrespectful, just to finish us off at the end there, because. Yeah, but this puts the icing on the top of the cake at the end. There's nothing better, and it's a feel. You're in a World Cup stadium and it's sold out, and obviously the Amir's there. It doesn't get any better. And there's our man Belmadi. When are you coming back? There's our man. Get back.
Yeah, it was a wonderful evening last May 19th. This year it'll be May 16th. It will kick off late as well. It's in the middle of Ramadan, so it's a very special time of year here in the Middle East, in Qatar as well. So during the middle of Ramadan, the game will kick off at 10:15 at night. So there's that added excitement. I enjoy a late night kickoff.
We had it last year, didn't we?
Yeah, it was about the same time, 9 or 10 or something like that. Yeah, very good indeed.
A couple of Turkish coffees. We usually wrapped up, done 2 hours kit by then.
So, as we bring the season to a close then in the review show, would you like to have the final word? Nick, just your thoughts as you round off the season.
It just doesn't get any better, really. We've seen all the clips there. We've crammed everything in. The international team are on a level. The world knows about them now. And that's all down to the league. The league is getting stronger, but we've got to keep pushing it. What are we doing?
Would you change it in any way? I remember. Sorry, because I remember 2 seasons ago we had 14 teams and 4 teams going down. That was a really competitive. Yeah, that stood out for me.
I've heard rumours of maybe increasing it again to 14 teams. I don't know.
They need more. For these young players, you've got to play as many. You've got to keep playing games. It's all about that.
That'd be better for the young players, wouldn't it?
But they've just got to be. They've got to try and invest a little bit more in some of these other teams, just to try and push and get up there. Yeah. I think you've got to. You can't keep having Al Sadd and Duhail running away with it. You've got to have someone up there making it a little bit more difficult for them. You can't keep having him Bun just scoring 300 goals a season. You've got to. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say. I'm not being wrong with that. Just it's down to these other teams. It
happens in other leagues, so you get two horse racing.
I know that, but I'm just being.
Yeah, what you want teams lower down actually making it difficult competing.
Yeah, like Wyver, Al Markia, if they come up, then
Well, an example have been Al Shahaniya this year, maybe closest to it. A team that ended up finishing 7th, for goodness sake. They were always, you got to be careful with them. You may not have the players, you haven't got the investment, but there was an attitude there. And if everybody could adopt that. Yeah. We're in business.
Correct, but every club has got a shake, haven't they? If they could just get their hand in a little bit of a pocket there and start bringing even more. And obviously, by the way, we've seen a lot of quality
and
players.
Take you on as the super agent. I'm sure they wouldn't go far wrong.
I'd like to think there's a job there.
Right, gentlemen.
But either way, it's been fantastic, hasn't it? Really. Yeah. How long has it been? About 12 months on it.
22 weeks of playing only. Nick and Chris, thank you very much for your company throughout the season. That's it for the QNB Stars League for the 2018-19 season. Al Sadd champions, Al Kharajat go down. Qatar Sports Club still have a playoff match to see if they will survive. But it's not over for us because we've got the Copa America to come in June. But before that, it's all eyes on the Amir Cup. From all of us here, bye for now.